What's up everyone, this is Sean, your physical therapy application coach. In this video, I'll be referencing some worksheets that you can use to help make your application process as simple and efficient as possible. To get access to these free worksheets and receive my monthly newsletter, bonus, pause the video and click on the link in the description down below. It will take you to my website where you can sign up to join my email list. Also, if you find the information in my videos to be valuable, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can keep up to date when I post new content. Now, let me get out of your way so you can enjoy the video. All right, let's go, folks. It's GPA time. So, if you're new and you haven't watched the academic planning video that's in Starting Out, pause this video, go back to Starting Out, and watch academic planning. I'm kind of just picking up where I left off there and moving forward, and I don't want any of you to be confused, so there's my preface. So we've talked about GPA, how important it is. It's one of the gatekeepers. It's probably the most indicative quantitative measure that a school has to help them determine what kind of applicant you are going to be. So it's crucial that we teach you first and foremost the importance of your GPA and how, and probably even more importantly, how you can manage it to be able to have success and to look like a great applicant. So we're going to be talking about each of these different GPAs. This isn't an exhaustive list, but these are commonly the ways that schools will calculate GPA and use that to compare you against other applicants. We're going to talk about some GPA hygiene. To me, your GPA is like your credit score. Coincidentally, both of these things start to come into effect right when you enter young adulthood, and you can be starting college and getting your first credit card at the same time, quite literally. So your GPA, you have to start out slow, and for a lot of people when they first come into college, they don't know how to manage their classes, and their GPA ends up taking a hit. This is oftentimes what happens when people have their new credit card. They realize that there's some more responsibility that goes into it than they anticipated. So let's talk about some ways that we can help you manage your GPA. First and foremost, I would say don't take any more than 3 prerequisites per semester if you're in a typical semester of 14 to 16 credits. If you're taking any more, you might want to also consider tailoring it back just depending on the amount of time you're going to have available to you. Now, I know this is going to vary from person to person, but in general, if you plan out your course schedule ahead of time, you should be able to manage this pretty easily. When I say 1 prerequisite, if it is a class that has a lab attached to it, like a lot of our prerequisites do, the lecture and the lab equals 1 prerequisite. Now, also considering this, you have to figure out how to manage your time with your classes. In general, your prereqs are your babies. You take care of them and protect them, guard them with your life. And those grades are the ones that, non-negotiables, you need to get an A or a B. Your general classes, obviously, these affect your cumulative GPA, but they aren't going to impact your prereq GPA. So, same thing with your elective classes. Budget your time accordingly so that way you can get the best grades in your prereq classes. Again, these should be, you're shooting for A's and B's in these classes. C's, for the most part, are going to be unacceptable, and you may even want to reconsider taking the class again. Okay, so this is from the applicant data report from this last year. This shows the mean cumulative GPA. And you can see here, the numbers don't lie. This is where people are lying around, right around a 3.6, right between a 3.5 and a 3.6 is kind of the cumulative GPA. Focus on the red box here, the prerequisite GPA, right at a 3.5. Core science. This one doesn't have any data in the applicant report, but I know a lot of schools calculate this GPA. And this consists of anatomy, physiology, chem, and physics. So you think about these are probably the most challenging classes that you have for prereqs. And this is going to really paint a picture of what kind of student you are and how well you can manage the amount of coursework you have. Again, from the data report, combined math and science. This dips down a little bit. And that's understandable because math and science classes are harder. Okay, our last 60 credit hours. So, like I mentioned before, if you had a rough semester or a rough first year in college, don't give up on your GPA if you feel like there's no way you're going to come back from it. I've heard countless stories of people who come back and they make it work. And they show with the last 60 credit hours that they've completed that they're a different kind of student, that they understand how to work and to prioritize their time. So don't give up if you had a rough start. At the end of the day, your GPA growth line should look like this picture. It should look like a long-term investment fund. Maybe it starts out low and eventually it starts ramping up, and at the end, it's significantly higher than where you started. We don't want you to have I'm not saying that you want to start out with a bad GPA. So, of course, the ideal is to start out and to maintain a relatively high GPA going forward. And this is only if things have gone sour from the beginning. Here's an example of a typical semester layout of what you could expect. This is what I did for my courses. I figured out all of my coursework and my application planning my sophomore year. And so this is based off of my sophomore year. I applied the summer after my junior year before I started my senior year. So this is an example. You can take a look at it, see how it fits into play for you. All right, so here are our calls to action. We got a few items for you today. So number one is to complete the GPA worksheet attached with this lecture. It's going to require you to get an up-to-date academic progress report or an unofficial transcript from your school, and it'll help you then walk through how to calculate all of these other GPAs. Your cumulative GPA should be on your academic progress report anyway, but this will give you an opportunity to figure out what your actual numbers are in real time. Meet with your academic counselor if you have not already done so. And this is going back to the academic planning video that we had in starting out. And if you have already met with your counselor, but you discover some new concerns or questions after you complete the GPA worksheet, meet with them again. Don't give up. This video isn't to intimidate you or to scare you. I showed you all those numbers from the applicant data report just to let you know this is where people are who are getting into school. And you can always make adjustments. You can make changes. You can retake classes if you need to. Or you just keep on going and stay on the path that you're on if you're having success. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you at the next video.